Everybody, this is Angel with Shop Growth Solutions and the Auto Body Edge. Today, we want to take you behind the scenes into some work that we're doing for our client out here in Orlando. Now, over the past 2 weeks, they've crushed it on Google Ads. We want to show you exactly what we're doing for them to get really good results in these past 2 weeks here. Exactly what we're doing, some of the things that we've learned, and hopefully you can take some of these lessons and apply it to what you're doing for your shop and see some really good results as well. So we want to show you like what to look for, what to avoid, what to look out for when running a Google Ads campaign, and exactly kind of what to expect when you're doing it the right way. So for the shop out here in Orlando, over the past 2 weeks, we spent about $985 in the market. We've seen about 21,000, a little over 21,000 come back in actual keys collected jobs at the shop. We have a bunch of estimates that went out that we're still working on getting in. But for right now, those are the numbers that we're seeing. Really good return there. And we're just expecting to do more as the days go by. So I want to start off by sharing my screen here and showing you some of these results. So this is for some of our clients, they prefer tracking things over a Google Sheet. It's just easy for them. So Mariana from our team, she's our head CSM. She's the one who fills these out and hands them over to the team every single week when we get on our weekly calls. So from these, you can see the green highlights here are the ones that actually were approved, keys collected, which actually came in. The yellows are the ones that we're continuously, the client is still following up with. You can see here some of these they were given estimates, still following up to get them in. So these guys have the potential to come in very soon. But yeah, over the past 2 weeks, you can see the approved ones, $7,000 job, $3,000 job. These are insurance claims, $11,000 claim, and then a $1,500 cash job that came in. Some of these are a mix of insurance and cash, but really our focus is getting those insurance claims in the door. So we want to show you what that looks like in a second here, some things to look out for, and everything in between. So, like I said, I want to take you to the behind the scenes, right? I want to actually walk you through this campaign and show you some of the things that we're seeing. So, first off, I mean, at a glance, what I wanted to show were our conversions that are tracked on the campaign versus what's actually coming through. So that number can you'll find sometimes it gets muddled in terms of what Google is actually seeing. That could be for a number of reasons. Number one, which is what we were seeing in these 2 weeks, our conversion point for phone calls were set to, I believe, 60 seconds or more. And sometimes a call comes in that's either missed or a call comes in that is less than 60 seconds and doesn't get counted as a conversion, but actually should be counted as a conversion. So that's one thing you should be looking out for. Usually we'll start with 60 seconds because we prefer longer calls. If your conversion is set for 60 seconds, Google is going to start getting you more conversions at 60 seconds or more. One thing that we found though, sometimes it can take 45 seconds for somebody to call, schedule the appointment, hang up, right? So we're going to lower that down as we move on. But the big things that I want to show you were our cost per lead, conversion rate, and our click-through rate. So some of the things that we're seeing here in our campaign data, we're seeing a cost per conversion at $54. Again, this isn't the full story though. Our actual cost per conversion is $19. I'm going to show you why in a second, but this is a really saturated and pretty competitive market out here in Orlando, especially if we're talking about all the sub-cities around it, Orlando, Kissimmee, what else? There's a bunch of shops. There's a bunch of cities in the north. Um, a lot of like subsections around in and around the city, so you have to be careful with where you're targeting, right? Sometimes I get on with shops, I see they're targeting all of the let's say Orlando DMA, which can be as much as 100-mile radius around the city. That's way too much, right? What we need to make sure we're doing, like usually our ideal situation is within 5 miles of the shop, we're getting better conversions, but 10 to 15 miles, you can still get customers coming in. When you're first starting out with a campaign, I highly recommend setting a radius around your shop of at least 20 miles because you need that data to come in first. As you get more data, what you want to see is a high conversion rate. Industry average conversion rate is going to run you about 3 to 5%. Ours, this is the low end. We are not used to seeing, honestly, 12%. Our average is about 15% across the board of our shops. So with a conversion rate of 12%, we're still overperforming. We're outperforming in the market. Our click-through rate's 5%. Usual click-through rate's going to run you 3%. This is just showing us that our ads are working. And but you can see right here, all conversions are about 80. One thing that I like to point out For this shop here, we're actually running ads to their Google business profile. You can see right here their Google business profile, and they got an additional 23 calls from that Google business profile that were not reported. So this is I may lose you guys here, but the basics here is that in our Google business profile, look, it doesn't hurt that these guys have 232 five-star review. Like they have 5 stars, 232. They have really great photos. This is one of the things that we are now pushing for with all of our clients. Um, your Google business profile can make or break your campaign in some cases. When you have, like, we just took on a client in Los Angeles, right? They had acquired another shop, and uh their Google business profile was at a 3.5% because the previous owner just wasn't worrying about it. He had a lot of work from word of mouth. But as they're pushing into digital, they really care about increasing that Google business profile score, right? So we help them, send emails. We help them get some more reviews from their past and current customers, and now they're sitting at a 4.0 on Google. We're still trying to get that up to a 4.5 and above, but when you have a really good Google business profile, you need to make sure that you are connecting it to your account as a location asset inside your campaign. This is because you can be getting extra phone calls without having to spend more on the on your campaign itself, right? So in total, we had about let me show you the numbers here. So again, there's a little bit of a discrepancy between what Google is recording as a conversion for the campaign and what we're actually seeing. I'll show you what we're seeing. So this is our CRM. This is a customer relations management tool that we run through with every client that we bring on, right? This is highly important. When you're running ads and you're getting leads, I highly recommend don't just send it to your shop's phone number, right? Unless you have some system to track those callers and those estimate requests. And typically it's not CCC, it's not Mitchell. You need to have something outside of that, right? Good CRM platforms, Go High Level, and Podium works pretty well as well. But you need to make sure you're tracking these guys before they actually come into your shop, because there's a lot of you could be getting phone calls, you could be missing phone calls, and I hear every day because we're able to listen to our phone calls for our clients. You can see right here we have recordings set because we want to know what's going on. We want to know our average call duration. We want to know how many missed calls versus answered calls are happening and what's our callback time and everything in between, right? That's highly important. Um, I listen to these calls every day. I hear very often that somebody will say, "Hey, I'm calling because I usually go to this shop, but I called them yesterday, didn't hear anything back. I'm a little frustrated, so I'm trying to reach out to different shops," right? Whoever's answering the phones, whoever's calling back first, they're gonna win. So we need to make sure that we're not only tracking our missed calls and our voicemails, but we're getting back to them, and we have a system in place to make sure that we are responding to missed calls automatically, right? I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. But right here for the period that we're highlighting, we had almost a 50% missed call rate, right? 21 calls, 11 missed calls, 5 voicemail, 6 just plain missed, and 10 of them were answered. Average call duration was 32 seconds, so this is explaining why our conversions weren't being fully reported. But this is one of those things. If you're not doing this, you need to make sure that you're tracking keywords to the calls that are coming in, right? I can't tell you how many times we've learned body shop repair or collision repair works better than body shop near me. That's just an example. But there's body shop near me. This really helps you learn, right? When you have this data on the calls, on the leads that are coming in, you can actually tell Google, okay, this keyword, well, let's put some more money behind it because we're seeing some more calls coming from it, or we're seeing a more relevant calls coming from this keyword versus this one, right? So this is another one of those important things. Also, if you're not listening to phone calls and you're not, trying to get better in that aspect, the money that you're spending on marketing could be just going to waste. This is another one of those things that in the next quarter, in the next 2 quarters or half a year here, we're going to really push to make sure that we're following up with our clients' follow up, because we know that we've seen some clients, they spend, really, they spend money on their campaigns, and then you're getting even a 20% missed call rate can really affect your ad performance, right? It's not going to be reported on Google, and your customers are just going to be, a little bit upset if they feel like their situation is not being attended to, right? So again, here in this duration, we saw 21 phone calls, and we have two ways that customers come in, right? They can either submit an estimate request online through our landing pages, or they can call the shop directly, right? We used to see about a 50-50 split. Now we're seeing about a 70-30 split between phone calls and estimate requests. People just prefer to have their issue solved right now, right? So if you don't have at least those two, though, like you could be missing out on these, on the estimate requests or vice versa. You could be missing out on the phone calls. So you want to make sure you have both. One thing, just a side note, a lot of people prefer CarWise forms. This could be a video on its own, but a lot of people prefer CarWise, but a CarWise form is just too, it's not, you're not thinking about the customer, right? When we use those CarWise forms. Not to call out you yourself, the viewer, but just saying when it's more so shop focused, right? It's great to have photos of the vehicle. It's great to have the VIN number right away. But the conversion rate on those CarWise forms are just very small because you're forcing a customer to go out. Like let's say they're on their lunch break at work and they're in the break room filling out some of these forms while they have a moment to fix this issue or get some estimates. And the CarWise form says submit photos of your vehicle. Like, how many of them are gonna put down their phone, put down their sandwich, go out to the parking lot in the heat, take photos of the vehicle all around, take those 15 required photos or whatever it is, and then submit with their VIN number, all this stuff, right? We need to make it easy for the customer to come through. Just the simple stuff, your make and model, what are you looking for? What type of service are you looking for here? And are you looking to go through your insurance? This is another reason why we have a 12, well, in this case, we have a 12%, but usually it's 15 to 20% conversion rates with our clients because we make it really easy for the customers to come through online. This is one thing we have to think about. Um, anyway, back to the point here. We have seven of these estimate requests online, 21 of these phone calls. So in total, that's 28. And then we have the additional 23 here, additional 23 phone calls. Made a little note here. What that looks like is so 51 total leads because we have 28 of those were tracked. Again, 21 phone calls, seven estimate requests, 23 untracked phone calls, and then so combining these, a total of 51 with the $985 that were spent in the past 2 weeks. Like I said, Google's reporting a 54%, a $54 cost per lead, but our true cost per lead is $19.31. The issue though, again, is the 50% response rate, right? I know these clients are getting back to these guys. I know their follow-up is solid, but for a lot of our other clients, when it's just an owner operator and you're busy, you're talking to the adjusters, you're talking to customers, and you're trying to answer the phones with these new customers, a lot of the times they miss calls and they forget to call back, right? So one of the things that we're now putting into place for this client specifically is a follow-up system like what we're doing for a shop that we have in Texas, right? This shop that we have in Texas here, every time a customer calls, let's say they call and there's a missed call, right? Immediately after, they're going to get a text message automation that says, thank you for requesting an estimate. Thank you for your interest. This is our shop. This is where we're located. Here's what to do. Send photos right now because send photos here for a quick over the phone estimate or click below to book an appointment. So you can see here we're giving them multiple options for them to come through. Again, this is what we're talking about here is the follow-up, right? We can discuss getting more calls and getting more leads all day, but if you're not addressing this portion, which is the follow-up, you can be burning money, right? So this is a really important piece of the pie. This is the future for this client, right? Right now, over here, things are going really well. We're getting calls, they're answering calls, we're getting really good insurance claims in the door. But if let's say their capture rate is 10% or 15%, we can increase that to 30 and 40% if we're just working on the follow-up, right? You're getting more bang for your buck, you're getting more jobs for your money. So this is our next step. When somebody calls, they go unanswered, we're going to send these automations. Doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be any AI, super complex system. We just say the basics. The first question I hear when I'm listening to phone calls from the customer to our clients is where are you guys located, right? First thing we're going to do, tell them where we're located so they can make the mental, okay, well, they're probably over there. They're about 15 minutes away. Here's what to do. Send photos right now. We'll get back to you as soon as possible, right? Literally, we've seen maybe two people book an estimate appointment right away, maybe two in the past 4 months out of the hundreds of leads that we've generated. It's very, very rare. So if you have a scheduler on your landing page right now, and that's what you prefer, again, we need to think about the customer, right? Customers like to talk to 3 to 5 shops at a time and get estimates, right? We have to make it really easy for them. We want to be number one. We want to be the first people to respond to them, so we're top of mind. So just give them what they want, right? We got to play the game. That's how we're going to be able to win. That's how you can spend less than your competition and get a better cost per lead. Another side note, sorry for going on these tangents. I'm halfway through a rain can right now, so a little bit hyped up. But one of the clients or some people that I've personally done audits on in big cities like Austin, Texas, big competitive cities, Austin, Texas, Los Angeles, and even Orlando. I see some of these really, really big shops spending a lot of money and getting cost per leads of $150 cost per phone call to $300, $400 cost per calls. Of course, they have the money to spend on it, but imagine if you can get a $20 cost per phone call. Imagine you can get $20 cost per phone call. You can spend $1,000 per month, and what would that be? 50 calls per month, and you're getting even a 15% capture rate on those. That would be about 7 to 10 jobs, right? 7 to 10 new jobs for $1,000 spent. And if those are insurance claims, the money's going to be coming in, right? So this is what we have to be thinking about. Um, Again, just increasing our capture rate, making a good ad, right? So again, what we're doing for this client in the future is putting these automations into place, putting these callback automations into place, making sure that we're staying on top of the follow-up here. Because what we want to see is something like this, right? We want to see a customer comes in, they get an automated text, "Hey, we just missed your call. How can I help? Send us photos, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom." Sending the estimate over the text message, make it really easy for them to, get the proper information. Um, Sorry if a lot of this is blurred. We have to cover up some information here just for marketing purposes. We can't be giving names and phone numbers for our leads of our clients, right? So, but the point still stands. Working on that follow-up is a big missing piece with a lot of clients who are spending money on advertising. It's not too hard to fix. Another thing too is some of our clients, like I said, are owner operators. We've begun placing people in their shops, so our employees and our team can actually be answering on their behalf, and they can do the follow up. They can get there quicker, track all the estimates, and make sure we're increasing that capture rate, right? Um, Last thing we'll say. One thing that I really wanted to make it a point to note is conversion rate is really important. I mentioned it before, but if you're seeing in that 3 to 5 conversion rate area, if you can just double that, you're going to be getting more phone calls for the amount that you're spending right now. Say you're spending $1,000 per month, you have a 5% conversion rate. Um, that math off the top of my head is I mean I would have to know the cost per click, but anyway, let's say you're getting 5% conversion rate, you're getting 15 calls per month, right? If you get a 10% conversion rate, then you can be getting 30 calls per month for the same amount that you're spending. Some things that go into conversion rate, right? Not having the appointments, having a phone call on your form, having a phone call asset, having your location asset set up properly. These are all things that you can think about. The translation here is if you set this up the proper way, you will be getting more for the money that you're currently spending, right? I'm trying to go quick here because again, this is just a quick behind the scenes, but I would be happy to jump into your campaign if you ever needed somebody to do a free audit. This is what I love doing, so I'd be happy to take a look. But again, and I'd be happy to make a longer video if that's what the people want, right? The last thing I wanted to show is our actual ads, what they look like. You don't have to overthink it. Very simple. We're only testing a few because we typically know what works best for those specific ads, right? It's very simple. Some takeaways here. If you're not filling up your headlines, if you're not using all 15, I highly recommend to do it. Um, Different combinations. Right now, we're testing location modifiers in our headlines. Like you can see right now, these headlines call out Orlando specifically. It's kind of funny. So I wanted to try out having a location modifier. So you can see right here, we have two different ads that are running, one with Orlando baked in and one with the location modifier, right? Um, when we were testing this, I gave it a couple weeks of testing, and what we saw was This has, yes, the location modifier has a higher cost per has a higher cost per click-through rate, so more people are clicking on it, but we found that more people are converting with the actual Orlando baked in. Because if somebody's in Kissimmee and they're seeing this is an auto body shop in Kissimmee, right? This is what the location modifier will do. Yes, you're going to get more clicks, but you're going to get less conversions because they're going to click on the landing page and see that we're located in Orlando, right? So just some things to think about there, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just keep it simple. Highlight what you do best. Um, if you're a car star watching this, then highlight that, you're a franchise with hundreds of locations around the US. Like build that trust, right? If you're not a car star, if you're a mom and pop, you care about the customer service a little bit more and how, your customers feel. Put that in your headlines. Talk about it, right? Talk about how you've been around for 25 years, you're a family owned, things like that work really well. You will call out your segment and people will respond to it. The other thing that goes with the ad is the landing page. Don't overthink your landing pages. You don't need to, I mean, of course, you can go to Claude, you can go to ChatGPT, have it whip it up for you, but honestly, simple is better. This is what it looks like on the desktop. Again, we have the phone numbers here. We have schedule your estimate, which takes you to a form, and we have a click to call phone number here. So we make it really easy if they're on mobile, they can just click right away. Um, this is how simple it can be, right? This isn't anything crazy. This isn't built by, a $5,000 this wasn't a $5,000 design job. This is something that we know works really well. We're calling out the search term that they're using. We're mentioning that we're 5 stars and we're a body shop in Orlando. Very, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. I see so many times, like I was just on a call with somebody in Washington, and I was doing some competitor research. They had their shop that was number one, spending the most money in the market. You click on their ad, it takes you to a list of service. That's a service page, just a list of the services that they offer, and then a phone number. We need to build some trust here, right? But again, that is irrelevant, right? There's a difference between simplicity and relevancy. Just keep it simple. Headline. Tell them what you do, right? Most of our keywords have collision repair in them and auto body shop. Just keep your keywords in the headlines, call out where you are, gain some trust, and then down here talk more about your shop, right? So doesn't have to be crazy. Keep it really simple. Keep your ads simple. The biggest thing, we have a video on this showing you what keywords that we typically target, but keep that simple as well. Don't do broad match. There's a list of things that I could go on, but these were the big things that I wanted to highlight. Again, $900 spent for $21,000 coming back, and some estimates here that are still in the pipeline. Our biggest thing again is just increasing our capture rate. This shop's going to do great in the next two to 3 months. Like things are just going to get better and better. If you're not getting this type of return on your campaigns, reach out to us. Like we'd be happy to help. Again, even if it's me taking an hour out of my day to do an audit on your campaigns, we'd love to. I'd love to. I love doing this stuff. So we'd be happy to use our combined power in the company and show you a little bit more about what to do. So yeah, reach out to us if again, these are the results that you should be getting if you're spending like this isn't like an e-commerce store, right? Where you can spend $900 and make $1,500 and still see some profit, right? Our margins are lower here in this industry, so we need to make sure that the return is 20x, right? So to be feeding our techs and to be making sure that we're keeping some money in the shop. So again, if you're not seeing these returns like you with these bigger jobs, um, you're you're probably not Google's probably not ranking for the right key terms. So we'd be happy to take a look at it for you. Just keep some of these things. But I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys keep some of these tips in mind. If you like these behind the scenes, we'd love to do some more. So just let us know. Leave a like or drop a comment. But until the next one, guys, I'll see you later.